Hello, geometry students. Today what we're going to do is we're going to start learning how to find the volume of our polyhedrons. So volume would be like how much you could put in something. So like how much water would you put in your pool? That would be a volume. How much air would fit inside of a balloon? That would be volume. What else? How many little cubes we could fit inside of a cylinder? How much soup is inside of a cylinder can. So that's what we're finding, volume. Our units on volume are always cubic units because, again, it's the number of cubes that you could fit inside of here. So like on this one, we would want to know how many 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter cubes would it take to fill up this, this rectangular prism, okay? So our units are going to be cubic centimeters on this one. All right, so over here on the left is our general formula for any prism. It's always, I call it big B times H. The big B, the capital B, stands for the area of the base. So depending on which type of polyhedron, your area of your base formula will change. And you'll see that as we go here. All right, so on our first one here, I've got, it's a rectangular prism. The reason it is rectangular is because anytime you're trying to decide what the shape of the base is, so on this one it is a rectangle, you look for what shape has the same exact shape parallel to it. So like on this one, if we look at this bottom rectangle, there is the exact same shape parallel to it above it. So right up here, there is the exact same rectangle. So that would be why this one's called a rectangular prism. Okay, so how do we find the area of a rectangle? Well, you learned that back in middle school. You can either use base times height. So what's the base and the height of the rectangle? We also get that from parallelograms. Remember, in a rectangle is a parallelogram, so base times height. I guess I prefer, and I think this is how you learned it back in middle school, to just call the area of a rectangle length times width. So I'm going to use that. So we want the length and the width of our rectangle, and then times the height of the entire prism. Okay, so length times width times height, and you probably recall that from middle school. So on this one, what is the length and the width of our rectangle? Well, here would be my length. That would be 8. What is the width of my rectangle? Well, it's this piece down here. Well, how much is that? Well, it's the same as this piece over here. How much is that? Well, it would be the same as this piece up here. All right, so 8 times 3. And then how tall is the prism? 6. So now we just are typing in 8 times 3 times 6 on our calculator. Let me get this in view here. So 8 times 3 times 6. And our answer then is 144 cubic centimeters. So we could fit 144 of these little cubes inside of this rectangular prism. Okay? So our next example here is a triangular prism. Why is it called a triangular prism? Because our bases are triangles. So if I look here at this bottom rectangle, which a lot of people think that base bottom, well, is there another rectangle or square up above here that's parallel to it? No, there isn't. Okay, so look again for another shape that would have the same exact shape parallel to it. Well, that's going to be this triangle right here. All right, so if I look at that triangle, I have the same exact triangle parallel to it just back here. Right? So that will be our base. Okay, so because it is a triangle, our formula then for big B is going to be base times height divided by 2, because that's the area for the triangle. Now that will only tell us the area of the triangle. We want the volume of the whole prism. So we still need to multiply it by the height of the prism. Okay? So finding our numbers here to put in. So we know that 6 here would be the base of my triangle. Now what is the height of that triangle? Okay? So here's the 90-degree angle in the corner. So the height would be this piece right here, which, do I know that piece? No, I don't. But I do know that this slanted piece is a 10, because back here it was a 10. All right, so if I've got a 6 and a 10, and this is a right triangle, I look up my Pythagorean triples again. So 6, what, 10? 6, 8, 10. Okay, so 8 will be the height of that triangle. All right, now, how big is the entire prism? Okay, well, this can get a little tricky. So remembering our bases were these triangles, right? So the height would be the distance between those two triangles. That's how tall it would be. So again, if you imagine that the triangles are sitting on the bottom, then you have another triangle on the top, how tall would it be? Well, that would be this 5 right here, right? So the distance between the bases is 5. All right, so we're gonna, I don't know, sorry, I had a little extra thing there. All right, so times 5 will be my, times 5. All right, and now typing that in on my calculator, or we could mental math it a bit. So 6 times 8 is 48, divided by 2 is 24. So I'm gonna get 24 for the area of that triangle. So that would tell me how many little cubes I could fit on that triangle. So there's 24 cubes. And then the 5 would mean I would have 5 layers of 24 cubes for a total of, what would that be? 120. So there'd be 120 cubic centimeters. Okay? All right, so that is a triangular prism. Now, the next one is a hexagonal prism. So our base on this one is a hexagon. Because the hexagon, and then I have another hexagon parallel to that in this back part. Okay? So hexagons, the area formula for a hexagon is apothem perimeter divided by 2. And then how many, or how tall, I guess, would the prism be? Okay, so let's see here. Do we know any of these things? So when I'm looking at the hexagon, right, do I know the apothem or do I know the perimeter of the hexagon? Well, we are going to assume that this is a regular hexagon, meaning that all of these sides are 4s. So all of these are 4s. So yeah, we know the perimeter. So 4 times 6, the perimeter would be 24. So we got 24 for the perimeter of our hexagon. Okay? Now, how tall is the prism? Well, if we've got the hexagon there, and then the other hexagon is in the back, what would the distance between those hexagons be? 10. So 10 will be the height of my prism. All right, let's see here. What's going on? Oh yeah, there we go. Okay. All right, so 10 will be the height of my prism right there. All right, so the only thing left to find is the apothem. Now make sure you guys are writing your work and sending me a picture of your work so I can give you partial credit. Because if you get this far and you just can't figure out what the apothem is, that's worth a lot of points. So I want to be able to give you partial credit for knowing how to do at least most of it. All right, so the apothem starts at the center and it goes perpendicular to a side. So it would be this piece right here. Okay, so that's my apothem. So I need to know how long that is. Well, when I draw in the apothem, that 4 gets split in half. That's where most kids make their mistake. So this would be a 2 and this would be a 2. All right, going back to finding the area of polygons, so this was in chapter 9, what we did is we drew in triangles, right? And remember then we found the 360 divided by 6. So this angle up here, that central angle was 60. So then that made this little angle in here be 30. Right, and then this was a 30, 60, 90 triangle. Okay, so across from the 30 is the 2, that's the small. So our apothem then is that medium. It's across from the 60. So our apothem then would be 2 square root 3. Right? So remember the small and the medium are the same number, 2 and 2. The medium just gets that extra square root 3. All right. So now this is just a matter of typing this in on our calculator. On your homework, it's going to ask you to have your answer in decimal form and round to the nearest tenth. So typing it on my calculator here, I'm going to go 2 times square root 3. Now I'm done with that square root 3, so I need to arrow out of there. Okay, and then times 24. All right, now I'm going to hit equals. All right, now I need to divide by 2. So divide by 2. All right, and then times 10. All right, so my final answer then is 415 point, and if we're going to round to the nearest tenth, that'd be 415.7. So 415.7 centimeters cubed. Okay. All right, then down here I just have some examples of some other types of polyhedrons that we could have. So this first one here is an octagonal prism. It's got 8 sides. So again, on that one I would be using apothem perimeter divide by 2. Oops, I got a little extra one. Oh, I think that one over here. There we go. So apothem perimeter divide by 2 times height. This one here in the middle would be a trapezoidal prism. So I've got my area formula for my trapezoid that we learned back in chapter 9. Okay, and I filled in my base and my height there. And then this last one here is a pentagonal prism. Okay, so I've got my formula. Now, cylinders are very much like prisms. What that means then is our base, right? Our base is going to be a circle. Okay. All right, so our circle formula, our area of a circle would be pi times radius squared, and then times the height of our cylinder. Okay, so on this example, our radius, our diameter was 6, so diameter is 6, so that means the radius would be 3, so it'll be pi times 3 squared times, and then how tall is the cylinder? 7. Okay, so typing this on my calculator, so typing this in on my calculator, I'm going to type in pi as 3.14. You could use your pi button if you'd like, times 3 squared or times 9, and then times the 7. Okay, so 197 point, and the directions will say round to the nearest tenth, so 0.8. And that would be feet squared, or feet cubed. Okay, so cylinders. All right, our next one then is a sphere. So a sphere has a formula all on its own, just like the surface area did. It's 4/3 pi r cubed up here in the top here. Okay, so on this one, it'll be 4/3 times pi times, what is our radius? Well, 30 is the diameter. All right, so the radius would be 15. So times 15 cubed. Okay, so typing this in on our calculator. All right, so I'm going to use my fraction button here. If you don't have a fraction button, then just type in 4 divided by 3 and hit equals. I'll just do it this way with you guys. Then we'll go times and then pi, so 3.14. All right, and then times. Now I need 15 cubed, so 15. This little kind of upside down tent is our power button, so power and then the 3. Okay. All right, so my answer is 14,130 centimeters cubed. Okay. I know on this one it did say leave your answers in terms of pi. However, on your homework it'll say round to the nearest tenth. So that's why I did type in the pi on my calculator. Okay. All right, the last 2 problems on your homework are like this, where you have to find the missing piece. So on a rectangular prism, the base is length times width. Okay, so on this one, I don't know the length. What is it? I don't know. I know the width is 3. I know the height is 7. So that would be 21. So 21 times what makes 273? So I'm going to go 273 equals 21 times L. So to find out what that would be, I would just need to divide by the 21. So divide by 21 there, and we'll find that the length is 13.